So this is just a quick overview of the Google Sheets we've put together that helps you assemble pick and place files for your Topaz X2 machine. And this is especially useful if you've got CAD software and you want to export all of your parts with your placement X, Y, and rotation. And what it does is it takes a list of all your parts, your X, Y, and rotation, and that's pretty easy to output from most schematic design software. And after you've got that set up with your part names, X, Y, and rotation, then we have an option down here for feeders. And the Topaz X2 machines, they have what we call the feeder number, and then you have the physical location for that feeder, and then their part number, which would be like your library part number. And so when you add each of these parts, you want to add in your label, which will match up with what you have over here. And then you want to add your machine part number, so this will be the library part number on your machine. And then we have the feeder part number, and this is mostly just used for optimization, but you'll want to have that there. Polarized, that'll sort if you have, say, capacitors or resistors, passives. It doesn't matter if they're 0 degrees or 180 degrees, it'll optimize those just so your machine doesn't make any needless rotations. And then rotational offsets. Sometimes your software is going to export with rotations that you'll want to change before placement, and this just gives you a convenient way to do that, and so you don't have to change anything on your software. And nozzle, you want to put in the nozzle you have programmed for placement. Again, that's just for optimization. And then count is just the list of parts using that specific part number. So what we'll do first is we've just pasted all of our pick and place coordinates into here. Go CAD to CAD, generate mount info, and so this generates the output sheet down here with a list of all the parts, the X, Y, rotation, whether it's polarized, and the available heads that can be used to pick that part up. And that again depends on which of the physical feeders that's in. If it's on one right by the edge, like say number 1, we can only use pick up head 8 to pick that up. You'll see some of these down here are that way. And so this has already been optimized, sorted by nearest first, similar rotation, and obviously feeder as well. And so after this is generated, we can go back here to CAD to CAD. And one thing you want to check here too, just before I skip over it, air log, any parts that weren't in your library, those show up here. And so if you have the wrong names here, you'll just want to go through that and check it, make sure all the parts you want to be placed by your machine are not showing up there. So we go back to output here, we go back to our CAD to CAD plugin here, and we do generate heads. So this just kind of sorts which heads are most efficiently used to pick those parts up. And then we can go CAD to CAD, generate Vios text mount info. And so this just generates all of your Vios lines. So we would just be able to copy all of those lines, and then we can go and we can just paste that right into our Vios text. So this is what this would look like if you opened your Vios text file, and you can just paste that in starting at the mount line right there. Just paste everything that came out of your Google Sheets here. And if you need this Google Sheets, just send me a message or send me an email. And yeah, I'd love to help anybody using these machines, and hope that this can be useful to hopefully someone out there that can find it useful, and hopefully it saves them some time like it did me.